And the countdown is on. I know this can be scary sometimes for people, but the doors do close tomorrow night at midnight for our Jumpstart program. Now, I've had some people asking me, like, Joanne, why are you closing the doors to this? Why can't I join in 2 weeks or 3 weeks? And one of the reasons is because we start on Monday, and I want to make sure that everybody starts off at the same exact point as we go through our Jumpstart program. Now, I'm doing something brand new that I have never done before. In the past, I have always been the one who has been doing the coaching, and I have been the one who has really been creating all of the content and the programs and all of that kind of stuff. But for this particular program, the Jumpstart Your Online Tutoring Business Masterclass, I have invited 3 of our coaches to help with the coaching so that every single time zone across the world has an opportunity to be able to get on a live call. And I know that this is an area that a lot of people have really struggled with in the past. They want to be able to come and join us live. And unfortunately, because, I'm in one time zone, they're in another, it just hasn't been able to work out. But with the new plan and the new setup, people are going to be able to log in live, which is so exciting. Now, if you guys read my email today, you'll notice that I put in a very big number, and I told you guys that it was my $168,000 mistake, because in the beginning, I didn't have the ability to have a coach who was in, the exact same field as we're in, because they didn't exist back in 2010. Online tutoring was just a thing that was really starting to get going, and there wasn't somebody that I could really turn to. And I did reach out to some other tutors, but they were completely, running their own business, and they weren't connected. And so I had made it my goal that if I could get book solid, or should I say, I probably said when I get book solid, then I'm going to help other tutors so that they don't have to figure out all of this stuff by themselves. And I have noticed over time that tutors make the exact same mistakes as they go through. So I've been able to take a look and see, okay, tutors make a mistake here, they make this mistake here. I've been able to tweak it so that we can cut down the learning curve for you, and you can be able to get results a lot faster. And that's been my intention. And when Terry Grigsby got book solid in 5 months, I was like, wow, like this is really, really working. This is doing what it was intended to do, which is super exciting. And I started realizing today, like, oh my gosh, so it took me like 2 years to get book solid. 2 years. All right. So I started adding it up. Like if I were book solid at 5 months, I would have been able to have made $168,000 in that time frame. I was working 30 to 35 hours a week, and I was charging $60 an hour. That is a pretty big number that I kind of missed out on because I didn't have the opportunity. So don't make my $168,000 mistake. And I'm going to say, like, don't get into that mindset like, oh, I can do this all myself. You can, but you're going to make the exact same mistakes as you go up that stairwell. You're going to make the exact same mistakes that every single tutor has made right out of the gate. And why? Because we learn by making mistakes. But if you can learn from other people's mistakes and learn how to solve those mistakes better right out of the gate, you set yourself up for better success. And I know a lot of people have been asking the question in the Insider Secrets Club. So if you are an Insider Secret Club member, I want to give a shout out to you. So introduce who you are inside of our group, and inside of the group, say what it is that you tutor. Say, hey, I'm an Insiders member. I do want to share with you guys the difference between the Insider Secrets Club and the Jumpstart group that we're starting. Okay, so there's 2 different things that we've got going on here. The Insider Secrets Club was a group where I could help tutors as they were building and growing. They went through some steps, and then I continued to offer monthly support and coaching calls every week for those tutors. It was kind of like a one-stop shop for pretty much everything, until I started realizing that we weren't really meeting the needs of new people that were new to our community. They weren't coming onto the live calls. they weren't going through the steps. And I thought, wow, like I'm really doing a disservice to the people who are new to our community because they're a little scared to show up onto the live calls where we all kind of know each other. They're scared to ask questions, and really this is the opportunity for them and the place for them to be able to ask questions. And so this is why the whole idea was born. What if I created a program that was just for those people getting introduced to our community, where I could walk them step by step through every single one of the processes and be able to help them when they got stuck? And then when they're done with that, if they decide they want to continue their journey with us, they can join the Insider Secrets Club. So I've had a lot of the Insider Secrets Club members like messaging me and asking me questions like, well, how is this Jumpstart program different? And I just want to let you know that if you are in the Insider Secrets Club, you do have an opportunity to join us for free, because I don't want you to feel like you're being left out and out of this process. However, a lot of the content that you're going to see is going to be very similar to some of the stuff that you've seen. The biggest difference is we are now turning it into what's called an experiencifying program. And so we actually have different activities that we need to turn on in. We get feedback from our specific coach, and each week you will have a coach that's assigned to you. And in this call today, you actually are going to get to meet our coaches. So we're super excited that our coaches are here with us today. And so we've got Suzanne and we've got Alexa in the house, and we have Terry Grigsby who's going to be on the way. All right, but I want to say hello to all of you guys that are in the house right now. Jenna, I completely apologize for my poor audio quality. I'm having a bad internet day. I am so sorry. I'm going to actually try to speak the least amount as possible and let our coaches today speak. And hopefully that improves the situation and it's not poor on your side. So glad to have you, Patricia and Danielle Maxwell. Woo-hoo. And we've got Star Beast Tutoring. We've got Clarissa, welcome. And we've got Azimadu Azim, who's a math and statistics tutor. We've got Alan, Ramona, welcome you guys. And Beth, of course, is in the housing room. We also have our career and college counselors, Maria, in the house. So glad that all of you guys are here. And Eileen Kelly, welcome. So glad that you guys are here. So what I want to start with, I'm going to start with Suzanne Davis today. And Suzanne, you know, we had this one question. Beth actually asked it. And she wanted to know, what did your journey look like into this whole online tutoring world?
It was unnecessarily slow. And I think that's similar to what you were talking about at the beginning of this video. I was in for such a long time in this absorbing stage and not really knowing what to do with the information that I was absorbing. And so I kept consuming more information and not doing. And then it wasn't until I started coming into the calls with the insiders group that it made a difference. So just to give you an example, I bought my domain 2 months before my website was actually done. But my website was done in almost 1 day. And it was because of that coaching call that I had. And it was just that I moved from that absorbing to that motivation and also that accountability aspect. And that's what really helped me progress. At the time you were talking a lot, and I think you still talk a lot about those 5 actions a day. And that made a difference because one of the actions that I was taking was signing up for different directories. And that's how I got my first client. And then Thumbtack and other things that I was learning in the group. And then, of course, you kept me on track with creating content like blogs every week and building that online presence. So it was unnecessarily slow in the beginning. I think I made some huge mistakes. And I don't want to calculate how much money I lost. I'm not doing the math on that. I'm not getting clients right away. No, thank you.
I know that was a scary number when I calculated that this morning. $168,000 I had lost because I didn't have a coach in place to be able to guide me through all of this. That's huge. And you mentioned something really important there. You said I was just kind of going through absorbing mode. Let me absorb as much as I can. But what I would like to help people do is let's get out of absorbing mode and let's get into take action mode.
Yes, that's a big difference.
And, everybody has different goals. So some people, if they're just starting out and they're like, I just want to spend the next year putting the pieces in place for my business, cool, you absolutely can do that. But those of you who are like, I want to be book solid by next month, or I want to be book solid in the next 3 months, I want to get you into let's get you starting in taking the right actions then, so that you can start getting the amount of students you need. All right, Alexa, we've got Alexa in the house. She is one of our newest coaches on our team. And Alexa is a stay-at-home mom to 2 beautiful twins who have just recently turned 2 years old, Paige and Caroline. And she is running her own online tutoring business. What I thought was awesome about being able to ask Alexa to be a coach was she could really connect with those other young moms who also were struggling with being able to run their online tutoring business and take care of their family. And so this is one of the biggest reasons why I've chosen Alexa to be on our team, because she's doing it so well and others can learn so much from her. So what did your journey look like as you got started, Alexa?
So thanks for having me, Joanne. I'm so excited that I get to help other moms because this is so not where I thought I would be right now in my career. So at the beginning of my business, I was originally teaching in the school system, and then I found out I was going to have twins, and I wanted to be more present for them. And I was like, oh my goodness, I just got married, and now I'm having 2 kids, and what is that going on? But it's been such a blessing. So the beginning of my business was slow as well. I think that I put as many short-term strategies as I possibly could into place right away because we needed money for buying the house that we needed to buy because we were having the kids, and because just with all the expenses of the kids. So I did as much short-term strategies as I possibly could. It didn't hit the ground running right away, but those strategies built up, and I did get a lot of clients. So it definitely takes patience and it takes time in the beginning, but you can put strategies into place that are more short-term, like I did, to get those if that's the situation that you're in and that's what you feel like you should do at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. At one point in your journey, did you seek help from a coach or a program or something like that?
Yeah, good question. So I feel like not at the very beginning, but when I realized, so I have a master's degree in reading, but when I was getting my master's, they didn't teach us how to use any specific strategies with our students to close the gap. So I felt like this was lacking when I started to work with students, and I was like, there's got to be a different way. So I started to look for things online, and I found you, and I found the Reading Interventionist program, and I got involved with that, and it definitely changed my business. But then from there, I was like, I could really use a coach to help me step by step. And so that's when I started to work with you.
Yeah. And that was a really cool moment, because you had mentioned that you had been working kind of with another program or another coach or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it didn't work out so well for you. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So this was a lady who's more of a generalized business coach. I live in the Washington, D.C. area, so she's also here. I didn't feel like she was necessarily meeting my needs because she didn't know about the tutoring world.
Right.
She knew about how to help me build a business, which was helpful, but she didn't know about how to help me build a tutoring business and what specific strategies to use and how much to charge. And I remember she kept getting me to charge these really high amounts. So I was like, I don't think I could do that right now. I think I just need to focus on getting the students and being good at what I'm doing. And then I can worry about, raising my rate. But yeah, so it was you who really, really helped me like so much, because you've been through it. So now you can walk other people through it, and you're so generous with doing that and with all the information that you share.
And now you get to help people be able to do it as well.
I'm so excited.
It is exciting. It is exciting. Suzanne, at what point in your journey did you begin to seek help from our community?
Okay. I joined the community for a while and just was watching videos. I think the point at which I decided I needed something more interactive was probably shortly after the new year, where I realized I just wasn't making progress in doing what I needed to do. You know? And so that was the point at which I knew I needed coaching, and I found those group calls really useful. But then I thought I need something more specific. So I would say within a few months of that, signed up for one-on-one coaching. I don't remember the exact dates. And I had needed that too, because with my tutoring business, it's a little bit different than a lot of other tutoring businesses because I tutor adults. So I'm marketing to a different group of people, and I was learning a lot about how to attract parents. But when I could talk things out one-on-one with you, we could really sort of hone in on how I would have to get my students and where I would have to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is interesting because like it depends on like who it is that you're targeting, the messaging that you create, all of that does change based off of, who your ideal client is. And sometimes people don't even know who their ideal client is. And we need to get clear on that first before we can even come up with the whole marketing and being able to get clients and all of that kind of stuff. And most people, most of us as tutors, we know how to teach real well, but we don't know how to market our business. Right? Like that's like a big sticking point for us. And so then we're left with that question of how do I get students? So when I asked, Suzanne, when I asked you to become a coach, why did you say yes?
I was just really excited to be able to, in a sense, give back what I had learned. Because it was so valuable to me. And I thought, oh, I'm just honored to be able to do this. And I loved working with tutors one-on-one, but then also in the classes to kind of help them think through, okay, this is their business. How can we problem solve? How can I support them and really help them go from a dream? And so I was just excited. I thought that would be a really cool thing to do.
Yeah. And you're doing such a great job too. You've even created some courses with the Online Tutor Coach and with Pinterest and with blogging that have been so helpful for people. I was taking a look at some of the numbers that some of the people they've grown. Like Lisa's presence on Pinterest has gone from like 1,000 viewers to like 4,000 viewers.
Yeah.
Woo! Which is like incredible. It's like unheard of and awesome. And Ann Mitchell's following has totally grown as well on there. So, I mean, what you're doing is making a very huge impact for these tutors. So I'm so glad that you decided to come join us. And Alexa, when you decided to come join us, what were your thoughts when I'm like, hey, I want you to be a coach?
I right away was just like so excited. And I told my husband, like, first thing I remember, we were sitting on the couch, just watching TV. I was like, hey, guess what Julianne just asked me to do? And I was just so excited that, that you thought that I could bring value to specifically moms who are at home, trying to start their businesses and trying to juggle both. The past 2 years has been a big learning curve for me. And I, like Suzanne said, want to be able to give back. I want to be able to give back to everyone because I've gotten so much out of this community and learned so much and grown so much. But specifically, I love the idea of helping those moms. So that's a different kind of viewpoint that I can take, which I think is really cool, but also nowhere where I thought I would ever be right now in my life.
It's cool, the opportunities that do come to us because of the networking that we do. We have another tutor in the group who because of the actions that she's been taking, she is now going to get on a podcast with a guy who's got like 100,000 Instagram followers. I mean, unbelievable, because we have set ourselves up to be in collaboration mode instead of competition mode. And that is like, I think one of the biggest things about, being part of our community is like, we're not here to compete with each other. We're here to really see and cheer everybody on with the successes that they're having in their business so that they can continue to have more success in their business. Mm-hmm. All right. So we've got Patricia who said, wow. We've got lots of people on in here, which is awesome. So those of you who haven't heard of the Jumpstart program yet, the Jumpstart program is called the Jumpstart Your Online Tutoring Business Masterclass. And some of this content is content that we used to teach in the Insider Secrets Club when people first came on in. It was a 5-step system that people could follow. I have since learned where people make the biggest mistakes. And I have reorganized the content. I am redoing all of the content. And on top of that, we're offering more support as you go through the content. So it's not just a watch these videos, do it kind of program. It's watch these videos, try it. Now bring it to your coach, get feedback, rework it. If you need more help, get feedback, rework it, so that you're not stuck in this mindset that you can't do this and so then you give up. We want you to feel successful, and we're going to put all of the pieces in place for that success. And I am investing a ton of money into this program for your success. So I just want you guys to know, like, I'm offering this right now at the lowest possible price that I possibly could be offering it. And it will never be offered at this price again. And here's why. Because I know that every single one of you that joins this program is going to be successful. I already can see and picture the success you're going to have as a member of our community. From there, we're going to be collecting people who hit that mission accomplished button. So if you remember what the mission is that you will be able to get one online tutoring student in 12 weeks. And if you do not, we are going to pay you the difference, okay? So your goal is to have as many aha moments as you possibly can from your students. And we are going to be there to support you every step of the way. Now, you have to show us that you're actually taking the actions in order to do that. You have to watch the videos. You have to come to your group coaching call. You need to actually submit the activities to your coach. We have all of those pieces in place to support you. And so in order to be able to get that refund, you do need to make sure that you have put all these pieces in place for your success. If you put all those pieces in place for your success, and you don't have a client from that, we'll be able to take a look and be like, okay, where did we fall short? We're going to be able to learn from where we failed and how we didn't help you be able to get one client, okay? Because I know if you make one client, it's going to pay for the program. But if you get one client, you can repeat that process over and over and over again. I'm like absolutely positive of this. The people that take action will get a student. Now, the people that are in the Insider Secrets Club, I've had this question asked to me. Well, Joanne, if I'm in the Insider Secrets Club, do I get a refund? No, because you have been offered the program for free. So I can't give back free. I can't give you like a monetary money when I'm offering it for free. So that's just one of the things I do want to put out there. This is for new members that are joining us in the next 2 days, today, tomorrow, and have already purchased it earlier this week. Those are the people that are have the opportunity to be able to get their money back because they're actually paying for it. So I don't want you to think that you're missing out on anything by not having this offered to you. That's why I'm offering it to you for free, because if there are steps that you want to work through, if there are mindset things you want to work through, you're going to be able to work through that through this program. But if you don't feel that that's a good fit for you and you don't want to take part in this, that's absolutely no problem. We have some really awesome things happening in the Insider Secrets Club in the new year, which is going to allow us to go deeper and not have to worry that we are going over the heads of some people because they're still at this stage, right? It really is going to start delineating the people that are new to our community to the people that have been in our community so that we can offer you better services in the new year. All right, now, Suzanne, you have, you've been coaching since the summer. You've been with us for quite a while now. And what are some of the things that you have enjoyed about helping other tutors?
I think what I enjoy the most is really listening to what they want to do and helping them figure out how to get there. Because I just learned so much in that. I learned all of these different fascinating things that they want to achieve. And it's not just generic. It's really catered to people. And so I like being able to deliver that and give that.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
It is a lot of fun. And now I get to share that fun with you guys because I'm not the only person that people can hire on this team. So you get to work with part of the Jumpstart program. You get to work with one of these tutors. Okay. So this is like pretty awesome stuff. Now, every Monday, you're going to get to come onto a call with me live. I'm going to be hosting those calls at 3:30 p.m. on Mondays Central. I know some people have already said, oh my gosh, Joanne, but I can't make that one live. I know. So I promise you there will be a replay of that one each week. But that's why I made sure that every single time zone was hit for those Wednesday group coaching calls, because I do believe in the power of you walking through this program with other people at the same stage as you, along with being able to get the help and support that you need. So we've got Terry Grigsby in the house. Woo, woo.
Hey kids,
Terry.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had in my calendar 10:30 and I did subtract 2, but somehow I screwed it up.
That's okay. That's why I like messaging you. Like, I don't think
I double checked last night to see the time. I still screwed it up.
That's okay. Accidents happen. We're just glad that you are here. All right. So we're going to dive a little bit into your story a little bit. So,
okay.
Because people need to know about Terry Grigsby, the great. We want to know, what did your journey look like when you got started?
So when I got started, I mean, everybody's probably heard this story, but I had been teaching at a community college for 10 years and caregiving my brother and my mother before they passed. And then right after they passed, I got fired because I'd taken too much time. And I tried to get another high school job and no one would hire me because I hadn't been in the high school classroom in a few years. So I went a couple of years actually unemployed. And I'm like, I can't give up on teaching. It's what I love to do. How can I still teach? And I thought, okay, I could tutor. And I didn't know if I could make enough money doing it that way, but someone said to me, why don't you look into online tutoring, which I had never even heard of. So I did my research. That's what I do. And I went on YouTube trying to find out how that all works. And who was on YouTube but Miss Joanne Kaminsky. So I watched a whole bunch of your videos, and then I eventually went over to your website and then joined Ultimate Support Group and went, wow, this is where I need to be. And I asked all my questions, and then I heard about insiders, and I said, yes, I'm doing insiders because I need to get good at this. I need to get up and running fast so I can get some money in the door. Yeah. And that's how I got and found Joanne Kaminsky.
Yeah. And and this is the difference, you guys, right here. She got the support from day one. If you listen to that story, she got support from day one. I didn't have that opportunity. So I was actually working with some other coaches, kind of similar, like Alexa was doing, right? Working with some other coaches that were not in our industry, who could say, okay, here are all the places where I'm going to mess up. And here are all the solutions that we've already figured out for you so that you don't mess up, so that you get better success right out of the gate. So for me, it cost me $168,000, because if I had the success that you were able to get in the first 5 months, I would have made $168,000 okay, so I figured out the math. I'm not a math person. All right. But I was like, okay, 5 months. It took me 2 years to get book solid. So that's 12 plus 7.
She's doing it right now, you guys.
Hours. oh my gosh, I'm like 19 months. That was really a lot of money. A lot more money could have been made in that 19 months had I had the right guidance.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly why this community exists today, because it's like, you know what, I know that tutors can get better results when they're guided by the right person. I mean, just think about like your own experience, right? Like in a time where you needed to learn how to do something and somebody showed you how to do it. And you were able to do it better because somebody was able to guide you right off the bat. They knew what to say to guide you and help you. And
Yeah. Let me throw something in there. I mean, I've always known that from teaching, you don't make up everything you do in teaching. I never did. I always looked for help from other things and other sources. So I knew when I started out, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I have to find somebody that already knows what they're doing. And it happened to be Providence that the minute I hit Ultimate Support Group, you had your, what was then called the Kickstart program. Mm-hmm. And I was a go-getter and I'm still a go-getter. And so I hit that program and I'm like, I'm doing everything she tells me to do. If she tells me to create a website, even the basics, I am creating a website by the next day. Okay, she told me to do an intro video. I am doing that intro video and I will get it done by the next day. Now for me, the Kickstart was only a week, but you know what? I did it. It wasn't the best quality and I went back and fixed it since. But that Kickstart is what we're doing now with the Jumpstart, only you have more time to get it done. You won't be up all night long like I was going, I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna get it done. So yeah, I just happened.
I think you were the only one who actually got any of it done.
Well, yeah, but I knew I had to get it done if I wanted to get this going. So I was like, I cannot wait and sit on my laurels.
That's right. That's right. I'll never forget when so I was always a really terrible bowler, you guys. I still don't like see myself as like the best bowler, but I can get the pins down, you know, you play because it's fun, but everybody would always give me the same advice. And these are people who weren't coaches in specifically bowling or helping people with bowling technique. They would just see like how ridiculous I looked and give me advice based off of that. So they would always tell me like, Joanne, you're always like swinging your arm. You need to make your arm straight. And I'd be like, no, duh. I heard it so many times. It did not improve my game. And then one day, this guy came on up to me. Now, I wasn't very open to suggestions because everybody gave me the same suggestion. I wasn't very open, but the guy gave me a suggestion anyways. And he's like, all right, here's what you really need to do. As you bring your arm back, I want you to think like you're going on up to shake somebody's hand and release. And I was like, oh, I did it. Bam! Every single pin was knocked down. It was like that. You guys, I was a gutter girl before that, okay? I was like, if I didn't get in the gutter and I got a pin down, I was like, yeah, got one. And like this guy's like one sentence swoop save was like, it changed my bowling career forever. Okay, not that career, but you get the point, right? You get the point that like, it's that kind of advice that when you are getting advice from people who have been there, know what they're doing and can guide you through the process, you can't but help get better results because of it. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. So love that you guys are here. You know, I love this question. So Jenna's got this question. She said, hey, any tips for dealing with criticism from clients? You know, and that is something that we do have to deal with sometimes, not necessarily criticism so much, but sometimes some harsh words are taken the wrong way, and they are difficult. So, you know, I call these our difficult clients that we end up working with. And I'm probably gonna have to come up with a better word for it, but I think that most of us understand what I mean when I say everybody has difficult clients, right? And so how do you handle that? Have you guys come across this? Yeah, Alexa has. I know you have. All right, Alexa, tell us all.
Yeah, so I have this one client and they are difficult. They don't necessarily like the way I do the payments. The daughter is pretty resistant to my tutoring, and that's sad to me because I'm like, I want to help you, but I can't help you if you're going to be resisting. It's going to be a lot harder. So anyway, I have developed a kind of different things in my head. So one is that I try to be as open to suggestions as possible, because I understand that people have different ways of looking at things and things work for different people differently. So and I want to be able to have a really successful business. So I'm open to suggestions. But when there's also a point where you need to draw some boundaries. And I feel like I've gotten better at that. So I've gotten better at being like, this is why I do payment like this. And it's set up so it's easiest for everyone, or whatever the situation is. So I guess my point is, I try to be as open as I can to suggestions, while also knowing what my boundaries are and drawing those lines and sticking to them, because I've realized what happens when you give in to everybody. I mean, you just can't do that to have a successful, smooth running business.
Yeah, I actually had to let a difficult client go. She wanted to tell me how to do every single piece of my business. And then she wanted me to assign homework. Well, dude, I know when I assign homework, the kids don't do it. And so then, and I am too booked solid at this point to put a system into place to follow up on their homework. Like, that isn't even something I'm interested in doing, because it's going to eat up so much more of my time that I'm not willing to give. So I tell people, I have resources for you. You can choose to use these. And that will be my response forever after this one client. So this one client had said to me, well, I want you to assign homework. I said, okay, I understand you want some other assignments in addition to the things that I've given you to do for homework. I will set up a Google Classroom for you, and I will put some different passages that your kids can read and answer questions to inside of there. She couldn't figure out Google Classroom. I came up with another system. She couldn't figure out that system, even though I sent step-by-step instructions on how to do it. Then she said, well, maybe this homework thing isn't working out. Maybe instead you could videotape your session, and then I could kind of like reiterate what you're doing during the session and help my child. And I'm like, that actually sounds like a really good plan, because that's easy to do. I can just hit the button, right? And I can go from there. And I exactly did that. They had shown up that day 10 minutes late. So I gave 20 minutes to the first kid and I gave 30 minutes to the next, because I just run on, okay, this client was 10 minutes late. That time is docked, right? Like, I'm not going to make up for it. So she criticized me on only spending 20 minutes with her son instead of dividing it 25 and 25. Then she criticized me on the way that I taught. I was having a slow internet day that day, so things were taking a little bit longer to load. This is before I knew that I should turn off my camera when I am browsing, because it takes up more bandwidth. And so she, complained about that. And then she went into my teaching style and started picking it apart. So I just emailed her back really nicely, because I had been very open to her suggestions and helping out in the best way that I could. I just said, I think at this point, we've now crossed a line. And I'm not seeing that this is going to be a good fit for either of us at this point. I said, when you asked for the videos, it was my understanding you wanted to watch the videos so you could help your child in the best way possible. And I saw that as very beneficial. But now that you're watching the videos and you're criticizing the way that I do business and the way that I give my instruction, we have now crossed a line that I don't think we're going to be able to fix. And so I think at this point, we need to say that we're done. And I wish you the best of luck on your journey to finding the right tutor.
Yeah. The only other thing I'd add to that, I've had clients like that too, that I've had to let go. Just because at some point, here's a shocking news update, everyone. I'm not the only tutor in the world.
Nope.
And maybe I'm not the best fit for this kid. And you can't necessarily know that at the beginning. Once you work with them, then you know. And if, like we've been talking about gut feeling in the group, in the little ultimate support group stuff, if it's your gut feeling that it's just not the right fit and you've communicated, because sometimes it's just a communication issue, you just got to let them go. And you know what? Whenever I've done that, I've gotten a client right away to fill them in. It's been weird that way. Every time, I've only had to do it a couple times, but every time somebody else has come along and fit in, and they fit much better with how I do things. So you can let them go. I know we work really hard to find clients, but sometimes you just got to let them go.
Terry, it's so funny that you say that, because literally yesterday I let the client go that I was talking about, and I got an inquiry in my inbox for a new student. And I was like, oh, That is so crazy. Like, so, yes, you were so right. You're not going to be the right fit for everyone. And it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's scary. I get it's scary to let people go because you need the income, but sometimes you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened to me, Alexa. When I let that one client go, I had 2 more in my inbox ready to go for tutoring services with me.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
And
I love it.
It's almost like you release that negative energy and you allow that space for a new student to automatically take that spot and that place.
But the other thing too is that we all have set things in place online and content or website or whatever for those people to come in. So while we feel like it's a miracle, well, we put all those things in place that we're going to help everybody with in this program, right? So if you get things set up, that can happen to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's just like a quick little tidbit. I know that we all have like email on our phones and we can access it at any point in time. But if you're not in work mode, you should not be accessing your email, okay? Because when I got that message from the lady, I was in the middle of a long line. I was in the middle of a long line at IKEA. How do you think that now affected my mood with my family? You know, because it does affect us. That criticism and that kind of experience does affect us. So, you know, just note to self, we do have to have a delineation between work and, you know, when we're spending time with our loved ones. There has to be that kind of a delineation as well. Otherwise, it will mess with your brain when you have those difficult clients. Oh, crazy, crazy. All right, guys. So when I asked you to coach Terry, I'm curious about why you said yes.
So first of all, when you asked me to coach, I was shocked. Because, you know, I like Suzanne with the Pinterest becoming the expert, I thought, what do I have to give anybody? But then I thought about it and I thought, well, you know what? I can at least share with them what I know, what I figured out, how I figured it out and who helped me. And, you know, and then I thought, you know, I'm a pretty good cheerleader for people. I can help people get the right mindset. And I thought, well, let's try it. I mean, maybe it won't work, maybe it'll work. And I tried it and it was so much fun. And I'm like cheering for everybody to get their clients. And I shared every single bit of knowledge I had. And it was really a blast. So yeah, I seized the opportunity, just like with tutoring online. You got to seize the opportunity and take those risks. And if you don't take risks, you'll never know if you can do it, right?
That's right.
I always say, if what is presented to you as an opportunity feels more exciting than it does scare you, then I should do it. And that's what I do. And that's what I did with that, because it sounded way more exciting than it did scary. So
yeah, absolutely.
And that's true with our tutoring too, and setting up everything we do.
Yeah, absolutely. And what have you enjoyed now that you've been able to help tutors? You've coached them one-on-one, you've coached them through your programs that you've created. What do you enjoy about helping other tutors?
I mean, when they get clients, is there anything better?
No.
Because they come in and they think, oh, I don't have anybody. I don't never have anybody. And then they get a client and they're like, yes. And I'm like, yes. And I get so excited for them. And because not just that they got the client, but they took the risk to put themselves out there and to try something that might have scared them. And they did it anyway. And then they got these results by putting it into place. That is just the best. There's just nothing better.
Yeah. So I want to personally thank each of you guys that is on our call right now. And I'm going to put a link in here, because if you're like, you know what, why would I not join this program? And you're in the right mindset right now. You're like, yes, I want to be able to join this amazing team that Joanne has created to help support me as I grow my business and get more students. Click that link, because you are going to get something very, very special. The very first 2 people that join us, if you join during this call right now as it's live, so that's only from 12:15 until 12:30 my time central, 15 minutes, you will be able to get a one-on-one coaching call for free. in addition to everything else.
Can I
Okay?
sign up?
I might be giving it, they might get to work with you. No, I'm just kidding. You guys will get to work specifically with me, and you can use it at any point during the program where you will be, whenever you get stuck and you're like, you know what, I want to tap that card. Remember that one show where they could call a friend?
Yeah. Billionaire.
Yeah. That show. That's kind of what it's like, right? Like whenever you get stuck, you can like call the friend. You can set up a time with me, and I will sit down. We'll take a look at where you're at and be able to get you over that hump and be able to get you the success that you are looking for. But again, that is only going to be available if you take action during this live call, not on a replay of this. So if you find this on YouTube later and you're like, I hit the button, and then you email me, but I hit the button and I no, that doesn't count. It's only right now for those of you that are live. This is your present from me to you for being here live with us. Okay. So definitely hit that and join us. It is going to be incredible. If you missed what this program all entails, and you click on that button, that entire video that's there will share everything about the program, exactly what we're going to cover each week, what you're going to be able to learn, what you're going to be able to get, and what you're going to be able to do as a result of what you learn. And just think about it. If you were able to get even just one student from what you learn, and then you're able to build on that and add on that, that makes it worth the investment in and of itself, right? A lot of us, we want to start our tutoring business without spending a dime. And we want to get into that mindset. I can do this all myself. I don't need help. I can do this all myself. I hear tutors tell me this all the time. I'll just watch your free videos on YouTube, Joanne. I can do this all myself. What are your thoughts to that thought process? Yeah, Suzanne.
I had that thought process. I really did. I read your book. I watched all your YouTube videos that you had at that point. I got on the email list. I thought I can get all of this free information and then figure out how to do it myself. But it just wasn't true. It was such passive learning. Even though I was writing down my notes like a good student, it was so passive.
Right.
And I really needed that interaction back and forth where I could ask questions. I like to ask questions. I know Terry is into questioning and getting back that personal information that you need to actually do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you can just learn by watching videos or even reading a book.
Right, because it is a different mindset. When I invest the money, I invest the time. When I am watching the free stuff, and while I may be listening, how often is it that we're also doing something else at that time? Maybe I'm cooking dinner, or maybe I am taking care of the kids, or I'm driving them to school, or I'm involved in a couple of different things at that time as I'm trying to get this information on in, and I'm really only getting a small amount of that information in, right? But when I invest money, I make that decision to invest my time with what it is that we're doing. And so that makes a huge difference, I think, with it.
The other thing is watching videos. Eventually you will learn everything, but it will take you so long to do it that way. Because for one thing, like with me, I had so many specific questions because I'd go try something and then I'd hit a roadblock. I'm like, oh no, I got to go ask somebody. So I'd jump on a call and ask somebody. And I could ask specific questions that weren't necessarily addressed in a video, or if it was, I might have to watch 10 videos to find that one piece of information.
Right. So it's just a better use of your time as well.
Be faster.
Yeah. It's so funny. I just had somebody ask a question. So we also, like, for our Motivational Mondays, we are going to be reading an amazing book together. And we're going to be chatting about it, and I'm going to be doing some laser coaching on those Mondays as well with tutors. The name of that book is The Compound Effect, and it is an incredible book. So Kathy, if you are listening to this, it is The Compound Effect. She just asked me on Messenger, so I don't know if she's in the call or not, but if you are, there it is. Patricia said, it takes money to make money. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are either are going to, when it comes to running a business, you either are going to invest a ton of time or you're going to invest money. And you could do both. You could do both so that you get great results, right? But to just think that you can just invest time into building it, it will take you time then to build it. Like me, it took me 2 years to be able to get to the point where I was finally book solid and had the amount of students that I wanted. So for you guys, what excites you about the Jumpstart Masterclass?
I think it's that perfect combination of like motivation to actually do something and guidance on how to do something and then actually doing it, which you especially need to get into the habit of. And if you're doing it, you know, kind of all together going through that process, you can get that one client, but then you're also learning habits and strategies and things that you can take to go over and over and over again at getting new clients. And I like putting all of those pieces together. And I think the aspect of collaboration and accountability and working with others is such an important key to success. And I'm really excited that you've added that element into it, because I think I have an accountability partner. I've always tried to collaborate with other people, and it's made a huge difference, not just in the short term, but long term, to be building those relationships.
Absolutely. And as tutors, I mean, we have the ability to refer each other, and that's what happens. We build those deep relationships and we begin referring. And so lots of people love referrals, right? They are like, what is your favorite way to get students? And the answer is always hands down, referrals. Well, no kidding, because you don't have to do anything for those. But right, like who's not excited to get a referral and really not have done anything for it other than build a strong relationship with the person that did refer you, right? And so here you get the opportunity to build that referral source for you, right? Like people who will be happy when they come across people that are a good fit for you, they want to refer you, right? I mean, there's nothing, it feels pretty incredible when another online tutor is like recommending you, isn't it? Anybody have that happen where another tutor recommended them and it felt so good? Terry, I know you've had it happen.
It always feels good.
Yeah, it always feels good to be recommended by another tutor. But we have to build relationships with those tutors, right?
And the other thing I'll say to the question of what's your favorite way to get clients, I always answer, everything is my favorite way. What's not my favorite way to try to get clients? Because if you're only doing one thing like referrals, you're not going to get booked solid very fast. You will probably eventually, but it's going to take time.
Oh, it's going to take a ton of time.
The thing I like about this program is getting things in place along the way that will get all those different pieces together so you can start getting your clients. If it's, you'll definitely, if you take action, you're going to get clients. There's no way around it. That's the thing.
No, that is why I am so positive and I'm not scared. When I first mentioned this to the group, you guys, when I said, you know what, if they don't get a client, I'm going to refund their money. You guys were like, woo, what? No, I am serious. If they take these actions and they can show us that they've taken these actions, I know they're going to get a client. So I am not scared to put that out there. So I feel confident that putting that out there, that look, I'm not here to take your money. I'm here to give you an opportunity to make more money. But if I don't take a little bit of your money to do that, you don't commit. And nobody benefits from that at all. So what are some of the other things that excite you guys about the Jumpstart program?
I think it's going to give the people who take the class a firm foundation in their business. So very similar to what Suzanne was saying. There was definitely so much information when I joined the program. And I remember being like, this is exactly what I was looking for when I was working with that other coach. And that wasn't the best fit for me. Now I have all these resources at my fingertips. It's amazing. But I really like the way that you've set it up so systematically and with so much, like Suzanne was saying, accountability and literally everything that you need to be successful. I mean, it is incredible. I I'm really looking forward to meeting the people, but also to see the success that they're going to get because of how incredible this is going to be.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm excited too. I can't wait just to see
The thing is,
everybody hit that mission accomplished button. That's what I'm already picturing, everybody in our group
Gonna hit it.
hitting that mission accomplished button. I got that one student and I can do it again.
That's right.
the thing is too, because we've all been through this, we know taking these actions will get you clients. But when you start, you're like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah.
But you have the four of us saying, well, we know if you take these actions, you're going to get clients. So we're not scared. Even if you are, we're going to guide you through there so that you're set up to get clients. So
Yeah.
don't be
If
afraid.
that's something that is important to you, then it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You guys need to definitely come on into this. Jenna was curious about how much money is it possible to make during doing tutoring. I'm looking to make it full-time. I would say full-time, Jenna, is about 30 to 35 hours. Once you start moving above that, your brain starts to become scattered and mush, but everybody might be different. I'm kind of hearing the same thing though, as I talk to other tutors, that it just becomes too much to kind of keep track of every single student that you have, the success that they're having, and keep track of everything when you have more than that for students. And then it depends on, from there, how much you charge per hour. So I don't know anything about you at this point to be able to say, well, you should be charging this or you should be charging that. I would say focus on trying to just get book solid at a rate that you feel comfortable at, and then raise your rates once you get book solid. Okay. So in order to figure out the math of between 30 to 35 hours and how much you plan on charging, if you figure that that is not going to pay for your bills and your living situation, then you're not charging enough. Increase it, because you need to run a business that you're actually going to be able to sustain as a full-time business if that's what you want to do.
By the way, full-time for me is 25. So and I'm making a full-time income. This is my only income. So
yeah, and you only have to work with 25 because you make the amount of money that you need to be able to bring in.
Well, yeah, I did the math. You got to break it down. What do you need to make in a year? What does that mean per week? You have to make, divide by what your rate is, and you'll get how many clients you need.
Yeah. And on the business plan, that is exactly what we do. It's one of the very first things that we do is we break it down with you, and then you'll be able to also talk with your coach about it. Just say, okay, am I making the right decisions with these numbers? Do they look right? And we'll be able to see anything that's kind of glaring or sticking out, or give you the guidance so that you can get the best success possible right out of the gate. If you're thinking, I want to charge $75 out of the gate because Joanne charges $75, it's probably not a good move, because I had to prove to myself that I could do this, right? Before I was able to say, okay, now I have a system in place that actually gets the results that I want to be able to get. It's not as simple as just saying, okay, I'm just going to charge $75 an hour. And you're going to struggle with people saying, I can't afford you because you don't have the confidence yet to be able to sell yourself. So we need to start at a rate that you feel confident in, that's going to help you pay the bills. And then after we get you book solid, we raise that rate so that you can continue to make more and more money without having to take on more and more students. So there's a whole process in place, and we'll teach you about that process as things go on in. So glad that you guys were able to join us today. You guys, real quick here, why should tutors join our Jumpstart Your Online Tutoring Business Masterclass?
Because you're going to get things in place and you're going to get clients, people. You're going to get clients. You take this action, you will. We all know that. There, I said it.
You said it.
Yeah, you're going to have what you need. You're going to have all the guidance. You're going to have all the accountability. You're going to have everything that you could possibly need to start a successful business, and to have it set up in the right way, so that you're not making mistakes and having to go back and fix things.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like the perfect framework for getting started. And I know that because a lot of these things, I made so many mistakes, and now I look at this and I see that framework. I'm like, I wish I had that. I would have taken a leap of faith and done it so much earlier. Yeah, it's like when Joanne showed it to us, we were all blown away. We were like, you've literally thought of every single piece and just laid it out. And so I'm really excited to be doing it with all of you. And I just think it is so worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to be able to offer the support for you guys right out of the gate. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but Joanne, I already have a really pretty solid online tutoring business. Is this going to be a good fit for me? I can guarantee you there are processes that you do not have in place that should be in place that will make you run your online tutoring business run more smoothly than it is today. I can guarantee you. And that in and of itself, Lisa Vincino was in our program and she already had, clients that were coming in the door. She came on in and she's like, I learned this one strategy from you, Joanne, and it has made me hundreds to thousands of dollars every single month. I'm like, well, there we go. Like, it was worth gold just for that piece of it. So thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. You guys are amazing. I cannot wait to help you guys get more and more students and, having our other coaches here joining you as well. So thank you, Suzanne and Alexa and Terry, for taking the time to, share yourselves with us and to share your experience and growth with everybody in the community. We appreciate it. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Bye.
Cheers, everyone.